please 2022 be kinder to us than 2020 and 2021. But that's not why I'm not here to moan about the last couple of years. I am here to I really want to tell you my 3 biggest lessons from 2021. I kind of wrote 2020 off, as I think everybody else did, but last year I learned some stuff. And I'm sure you did as well in your own way. But I'm here to talk to you about my 3 biggest lessons that actually stemmed from a diagnosis I was given 6 months ago today. Can you believe it? Anyway, I'm Rosanna. I'm the host of the podcast Design Your Legacy, a podcast where I used to have conversations with inspiring women to help tell the story of legacy and how we can make positive change in the world. And now I actually, whilst we'll still be having those conversations, I'm also kind of going to put my 2 cents in as well. And I want to explain to you how you can design your own legacy and how you are in charge of creating your best life possible. And it is all possible. I promise you, please believe me. So I'm also the founder of a company, a fine jewellery company, Rosanna Croft Jewellery. I create bespoke pieces of fine jewellery that tell stories of legacies and that will be passed through generations. I also redesign heirloom jewellery that already has a legacy, and we may want to give that legacy a bit of a zhuzh up, or kind of redesign something that you can't wear but you really want to wear. And that's what we do. So I want to get a bit more of my journey and my story out to the world, because actually what happened, what I went through last year was life-changing, and in many ways I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But also I think it's really important because I want to help the world kind of heal, and I want to help the world realise that actually we're in control of our destiny. So let's take control and let's take responsibility and let's do something about it. So here I am to share my 3 biggest lessons from 2021. And they all stem around this diagnosis I was given 6 months ago. So 6 months ago, I was given a diagnosis of triple negative breast cancer, which is a rare and aggressive form of breast cancer that is quite scary when you think about it and read about it, which I never did. The first thing the nurse said to me was, don't Google it. So I didn't, because I didn't want to be spooked out. I didn't want somebody else's experience to determine my own. So I didn't Google it, and I'm very, very proud. Don't think I have to this day anyway. Anyway, we're not here to talk about cancer necessarily, but my first lesson is that life can change in an instant. Your life, 2 words it took for my life to change. It's cancer. And I walked into the hospital and I'd had all these tests, and to be honest, the test in itself was pretty traumatic because I didn't realise we were looking for cancer. I walked into the hospital. It was the last day of me moving out of my flat with my ex-boyfriend. We were literally just trying to sell the last bits and get out and hand the keys back, and I was like, I'll be back in half an hour, but if it's cancer, I'm going to the pub. And that was just a joke. I didn't mean it. Ironically, I did end up in the pub. Not ironically, but I just didn't know I didn't know what to do. So 2 words it took for my life to change, and I still don't think I really appreciate how much it changed my life. And I'm literally 5 weeks post surgery, 2 months post chemo. I am not fully out of it yet. In fact, my journey, I believe, is only just beginning. But I was sailing along, trying to make me and my boyfriend had split up 2 months before. We were emptying the last of the house. We were kind of going through all of that, and I was just sailing along. I was like, right, okay, I've got a chance to kind of do some stuff that I really want to do. I want to build my business. I want to like triple, quadruple my turnover. I want to work with celebrities. I want to do this. I want to design jewelry that's seen on the red carpet. I still want to do that. But, I want to do all this stuff. And that was what I was planning for. And that was kind of where my focus was going. And all of a sudden I was, sat down and told I had cancer. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's it. My life has changed. My dreams are out the window. Not the case. Our minds are very dramatic. And they will take us to the worst places possible before, if we let them. Thankfully, leads me on nicely to my second lesson, actually, which is it's what you do every day that leads to the outcome of how you live your life. So for me, I've been working on personal development now for about 5 years, and it started trying to build my confidence, trying to set some goals because I didn't really know what a goal was. I'd started a business 7 years. I opened a shop, started my jewelry company 7 years ago, and I was just kind of sailing along. Series of unfortunate relationships that led me to believe certain things about myself. Some kind of emotional and other nasty stuff happened in some relationships, and I knew that I needed to change that. I needed to change my mindset in order to get myself out of it. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship or a situation where you just have enough. Something flips in your mind, and it's a bit like an epiphany. Something flips and you go, fuck this, I am out. And I've had that a few times, but I'm not here to get into that today either. But from there, the last time, it was this boyfriend and I left, and I was like, right, I need to sort my mind out because I'm hitting depression. It was depression, and I was low, and I was running a business, and I was like, how do I make this work? How do I earn money? How am I going to be happy? Because I wasn't happy. I was bloody miserable. So anyway, I started trying to meditate, which I found really difficult at first. I was already pretty good on the exercise. I'd moved back from Australia and started running. And whilst I thought I was going to hate running, I actually really enjoyed it. I loved the competition, I loved the goals, I loved the achievement, I loved the medals. Didn't so much love the sweaty after race photos, but it's all part of it. And so I started meditating, exercising, setting goals, and reading books, learning, and this really helped set me up to building a really strong routine every day that I knew was making me like 1% better every single day. And I'm really, really grateful that my eyes were opened to what can happen with a bit of personal development if you let yourself do it and you're disciplined enough to do it. And those things that I've done every single day, I actually believe have really, really helped me in the last 6 months. People have said to me, God, you're so positive. My nurse, I was basically given the all clear just before Christmas. And at the beginning of my journey, my oncologist told me that triple negative breast cancer, and the size of tumour I had, I was looking at a 50% chance of a complete response from chemotherapy. So chemotherapy is there to shrink the tumour and hopefully any little floating cells around your body that may settle somewhere else in the future, hopefully, get rid of them as well, because they can be really dangerous, especially with breast cancer. So that was the point of chemotherapy, and then we always knew I was going to have surgery to remove whatever was left. And if it came back that I had the BRCA1 mutation, which it did, then I would be facing bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction, which I had. Anyway, the important part of this is that I was given they said I had a 50% chance of getting of completely shrinking the tumour with 5 months of chemo. So it was 20 weeks of chemo. Long story short, I didn't do all of the chemo. I knew in my body I'd done enough, I'd had enough, and I decided to stop 6 weeks early. So 6 chemo sessions shorter than, and so you would think that might change my odds a little bit. Anyway, through every single day throughout my cancer journey, I've done the things I know help me. I've meditated, I have exercised where I can, so but not just exercise like running or weightlifting. I've actually done yoga, and I've done a lot of yin yoga. I've had to take my body from stress, which is what I was living in before, because and I'll get into this another day, I was in a very, very dark place before. In fact, 2 weeks before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was diagnosed with chronic stress. So I was living in stress, and I had to get myself out of stress if I was going to beat cancer. So I moved from stress, I did the things that I knew were going to help me, moved from stress to more calm, restorative healing. And those things were, yin yoga I discovered. Now normally there's no way you'd get me sitting and holding a position for 5 minutes, a yoga position for 5 minutes, because I just find it, I used to find that really boring. Actually, I discovered it throughout my cancer journey, and I loved it, and it released so much energy for me, and it felt so refreshing, and it was incredible. Anyway, so I exercised where I could, I meditated, I exercised where I could. I learned how to change my energy, and again, this is probably a conversation for another day, but I learned how to we're all energetic beings. It's been proven in the last few years, like a couple of decades, that we are not solid. We're not solid. We are all tiny little cells and neurons and atoms, and we are energetic beings, and we have this electromagnetic field, and basically if we can change our energy, we can actually change ourselves. So I was focusing a lot on changing my energy, changing my energy to a healing state, and I was practicing a lot of surrender, just letting go. I had my intention, and I would let go, and all of these things that I did every single day, and the main thing that I do believe helped me heal, alongside chemotherapy, was meditation. And there is so much you can learn about meditation, and potentially I might go into it in another episode. If you're interested, let me know, and I can talk a bit more about it. But the meditation that I was doing, whether I felt absolutely, no matter how I felt, I did the meditation. That was my one non-negotiable every single day, was wake up, meditate for at least half an hour. Before I go to sleep, meditate for at least half an hour. Kind of go to sleep listening to a meditation as well. So I'd do a meditation, and then I'd meditate. Well, I'd meditate in sleep. And so that, for me, doing that every single day gave me something to focus on, so that I knew I was still in control of my healing journey, because I decided this is what I was going to do, and I followed my intuition, and this is where it led me, and I had a complete response to chemotherapy with 6 less weeks, and it all stems from the positive things I do to change my mindset every single day, and day in, day out, having the discipline to do them no matter how shit I felt. And I, you may already do some personal development, you may not, you may think you want to, but you don't really know where to start. I would say start with one thing and focus on that, and you'll be amazed at how it can change your life. You don't need to wait for a diagnosis to change your life. Please don't wait for a diagnosis to change your life. I don't want to get all preachy at you, not yet anyway. So my third lesson, and this kind of everything I was doing every single day to help me have a positive mindset throughout the whole process, you know, no matter what the outcome was, I knew I wanted to do it with a positive attitude. And all these things that I did every single day, they helped me to get there when my life was changed in a split second. So then my third lesson actually was how important it is to have vision and purpose. And this podcast has actually been a big part of my purpose for the last year. I've always wanted to help people and help people realise that there is so much more to life than they think, and that they, you know, that we're programmed to believe there is so much more, and anything is possible. So for me, that's a massive part of my purpose, alongside like helping women and supporting small businesses, and now supporting people through breast cancer and cancer, because it's fucking shit, and scary, and you know, nobody should have to feel the fear that cancer brings. It's just, anyway, I digress. Vision and purpose are so important in living an amazing life, and I thought I had vision and I thought I had purpose, and again, when I was given this diagnosis, everything that I believed I questioned. I was like, God, am I really doing this for something so, you know, something, am I dreaming as big as I can? Am I doing really what I can, and am I doing it for the right reasons? So I did tweet, well, for the 6 months, my vision changed obviously to, I want to heal, I need to be healthy, I need to be happy, I want to be ready for the start of the year, start of 2022, to tackle it with, like, just bloody go for it, and not have those fears that I had previously, and not be stressed. I want, like, my vision was to get rid of stress, be happy, be healthy, and ultimately get the phone call that says you had a complete response. And I got that phone call, and it was amazing, because that was always the focus for me, was to have the complete response, so then I could be confident that I'd done everything and I'd done enough, and that surgery would be the last part of my journey. And it, well, kind of the last physical part of my journey, and it was, and it is, and it's the end of the ride, really, I think. And if it wasn't for having the vision of being healthy and being happy, alongside the non-negotiable routines that I have in my life to make sure that I am living my most positive and best life, then there is no way that I would have beaten cancer in 5 months, you know, with less chemo than recommended, and all of this, you know, I really beat the odds. I'm a bloody miracle. So yeah, they're my 3 lessons for 2021. Life can change in an instant. So make sure that you're following your vision and your purpose, and do the things every single day that are going to make you live your happiest and best life. And I think I've always lived like that. Well, I have for the last probably 5 years, but I've always done it from a place of fear. And I guess that's my other lesson, is don't try not to live from fear. We're programmed to live from fear, and our subconscious is there to protect us. The fight or flight is there to protect us. We're made to live from fear in case a massive tiger comes running around the corner at us, and we either need to run away or do whatever we can to protect ourselves. That's not a good place to live from. We don't need to live like that anymore. Like, you know, I'm not going to get attacked by a tiger, although if you're watching this on YouTube, you will have seen Russell running around, and, you know, I do get attacked by him. So, yeah, we don't need to live from fear, and life can be so much better than we ever imagined when we live from a place of love, and we're open to love and to happiness and to health and vitality, rather than rather than being shit scared that you're gonna go broke, or you're gonna, you know, lose a relationship or whatever. But I'm going to leave that there because I've been jabbering on enough, and I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you have too. And if you've gained anything from it, please let me know. This is new for me, kind of talking, just talking. Normally I'm interviewing people, and I really, really enjoy that. And but also I have a message that I want to get out to the world, and I want that to be that and that message is that you can live your best life possible. And I know people, you see it on Instagram and you see it everywhere, and believe it, it's true, and question whether you are living your best life, and what can you do to change it. You know, you always have an option. There's always possibilities. There are infinite possibilities, but we really have to open our minds to that and open our hearts to it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've had an incredible first week of 2022. I hope you have an incredible 2022, and if I'd love any to know what your lessons were for the last year. You know, did you face something, you know, aside from the pandemic or COVID, or maybe that was a massive part of your year, who knows? Please let me know what your lessons were. I'd love to know. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for watching and or listening. If you want to connect with me, you can on Instagram. I'm at Rosanna Croft, Roseanna Croft, as in Lara Croft. And my company's page is at Rosanna Croft Jewellery. We're rosannacroftjewellery.com, and you can learn all about the legacy process of designing jewellery, and it's really, really magical, as is life. So have a wonderful day. I will talk to you all soon.